Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another Tumbler tutorial. In this video, we're going to make a super cute little can koozie. You can also use this as a small little mug if you want. There's two different lids that you can use with this style cup. So what I'm going to do first is remove the bottom little cap on the bottom of my tumbler so we can do a little glitter booty. And what we're going to do on this tumbler is use some of my scrap vinyl to create a really fun design. So this star pattern vinyl you will be seeing in a tutorial coming up, and I decided to use the rest of it on this tumbler. This is from BAMF Custom Creations and it is a transparent pattern, so if you put it on pretty much anything other than a white background, you're going to lose a lot of the pattern. So what I'm going to do is layer it on top of this colorful pearl white vinyl from Teckwrap Craft. It's got a little bit of a shimmer to it, and I really just wanted to see how much of that pearly shimmer you would see through the transparent vinyl, and it turns out it actually showed up pretty well, so I was happy about that. So what I'm going to do is line up these edges of the vinyl and then use my vinyl scraper to push the vinyl onto the other vinyl, make sure we don't have any air bubbles or anything. And now we've essentially got an opaque piece of vinyl that we can wrap around our tumbler. So what I'm going to do is cut down all of the edges and make sure everything is straight, and then we will wrap this on our cup. Now to apply this to our cup, I'm going to use the same technique that I do every time I wrap vinyl around a tumbler. I'm going to wrap the vinyl around with the backing still on, and then I'll use a piece of painter's tape to secure one end of the vinyl to my cup so that it stays in place while I actually wrap it around the cup. Then I'll peel away a little bit of the backing and then adhere that one little strip of the vinyl to the cup first, and then I'll use my vinyl squeegee, as you can see here, to push the vinyl onto the cup, pushing the backing away in the process. Just make sure before you get around to the other end of your wrap that you remove that piece of painter's tape, because you don't want to wrap your vinyl over the piece of painter's tape and then have to remove all of it again. I cut down the seam just a little bit from the wrap to make it look as seamless as possible, and then I took the excess vinyl from the top, pulled it as tightly as I could up over the top rim, and then cut it down with my craft knife. Remember, this vinyl is pretty thick because we've got 2 layers of vinyl here, so it might be hard to pull and stretch over the top rim. Just be careful as you do that because you don't want to tear your vinyl and then ruin your wrap, so just be careful. And then I'm going to, as always, take my knife at a 45-degree angle and get rid of the excess little slivers of vinyl that might be still up over the top rim. I'm going to do the same process down at the bottom of the tumbler, because when we do our glitter booty, we're going to glitter that little edge of the bottom of the cup. I wasn't going to try and stretch and wrap that vinyl down around the bottom rim, so I just cut off the excess with my craft knife and then took my cup edging tool from CAMIPAIGE Boutique and trimmed that bottom edge really nicely and made it look super straight and clean, and we'll deal with that later. So for the next design element on our tumbler, I'm going to use this piece of scrap vinyl. This is from Glamour Tribe Vinyl. Now in my elite group, we did a tumbler using this pattern vinyl, and I kept this little piece because the vinyl was so pretty. I didn't want to throw it away, so I just kept it, and I thought it would look really cute with this star pattern and kind of make like a almost like a geode looking cup, but just like kind of interesting. I don't know, I just wanted to use this pattern, and I thought the pink in the vinyl went really well with the pink stars. So what I'm going to do is cut it down to fit the size of my tumbler, and I'm going to line the seams up so the straight edge of that pattern vinyl is going to be lined up with the straight seam that we cut when we did the star wrap. And then I'm going to wrap it up the exact same way that I would a full sheet of pattern vinyl. So I'm going to cut away a little bit of the backing again, and then I'll use my squeegee to push the vinyl onto the tumbler. Okay, so we've got our geode portion wrapped on our tumbler now, and I'm getting pretty excited about how this is looking. I am going to squiggly line cut my seam here, but when we do our designing, we're going to try and cover the seam up as best we can so that we don't have this like harsh stoppage of that geode pattern. So I added a coat of epoxy to the tumbler using the Flynn Sisters Fast Cure epoxy, and the coat was maybe 10 to 15 milliliters. This is a small tumbler, so you don't need a ton of epoxy, and you just need to do one coat to get it smooth, and then you can move on to your next step. So I'm going to take this bleach spot decal, this is from the Vinyl Cottage, and I'm going to place it right over that seam to, again, cover up as much of that harsh line as we possibly can. Now, because the decal I want to use is a semi-transparent decal with a clear backing, I want to shine up this bleach spot area so that we don't see the lines from the decal when we put epoxy over it. So I'm just going to take some UV resin really quickly and spread that all over the bleach spot decal to kind of mimic a real epoxy coat. And then I'm going to cure that in front of my UV lamp for about 5 minutes. And now we can go in and apply our clear decal. So this decal is from BAMF Custom Creations, and it says give yourself time, and I really liked that the colors in the decal kind of mimicked the colors that we have going in the whole design. I also really like the saying, so I decided to go for it. So what I'm going to do is cut around the backing of the decal so that I can make sure I place it as centered within that bleach spot as possible. Then I'm going to cut away half of the backing from the decal and then push the rest of it onto the tumbler. I did place it using my painter's tape to, again, make sure that I got it as centered within that bleach spot as I possibly could. And once I've got that on, I'm going to move into kind of lining this agate section of the tumbler out. I wanted to make it look just a little bit more finished and like crisp. So I'm taking my paint pens here and I'm just going to line them the same way that you would line a glitter geode. So I had done the neon pink and then I did these weird lines with some maroon, and I ended up getting rid of those, so you can ignore those because they did not look good. Then I went with a coral color, and then I decided to use that same maroon color and just finish one line underneath the neon pink. So I just did all of my stripes in that one section. I didn't try to go into the vinyl and like stripe all of it out. I just wanted to add something where that vinyl met the other vinyl, if that makes sense. So you totally don't have to do this if you don't want to. I just wanted to add a little extra something. After the paint for our lines had dried, I added another coat of epoxy to the tumbler, and now we can work on finishing off the bottom. So I'm going to take some more painter's tape and tape off the bottom edge of the vinyl so that we don't get anything where we don't want it to be. And then I'm going to take just some plain glitter glue and I'm going to paint that bottom edge of the tumbler as well as the like outer bottom rim of the cup. Now I'm not tinting this because the glitter I'm going to use is metallic and it's gold, so you don't need to tint for that. It's just going to work fine. So I'm going to use Goldmember from Peachy Olive Glitters. This is a fine cut, just pure gold glitter, and I'm just going to put that all over the bottom of the tumbler, as you can see. I did let that dry for the full 2 hours before I added the second part of the glitter booty. For this, we're going to use UV resin, and the glitter I'm using is Jules, also from Peachy Olive Glitters. So I'm going to mix a little bit of Jules into my medicine cup with the UV resin, and I'm just going to pour that into that middle well at the bottom of our tumbler. After that middle UV resin was cured, I did seal that gold glitter with another coat of the glitter glue, let that dry for 2 hours, and now I'm going to add another coat of epoxy to my tumbler. This coat is really thin as well. It's probably about maybe 10 milliliters of the Flynn Sisters Fast Cure. Now I'm going to add the final touches. So I did add a little acrylic logo tag to the bottom of my tumbler, cured that with some UV resin, and now I'm taking a paint pen and kind of mimicking a little geode line around this outer border just to give it a little extra something. So I just did that, then I let that dry, added my final coat of epoxy, and that's it. We are all done. So here's the final design. This is definitely a little different than what I had in mind, but I really like how it turned out. I had a lot of fun putting this together, grabbing all of these different elements that I had on hand to make something really cool, and I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up down below. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments as well, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, be sure you hit that subscribe button too. Thanks so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, love you. Bye. I want to say a special thank you to all of my channel members, subscribers, and especially my elite fam. Thank you guys for all of your support. I literally could not do this without you. If you want to be part of the fam, you can subscribe to the channel, join as a channel member, or if you'd like the full shebang, extra content, and all of that, you can join my elite fam by going to patreon.com/elitefam. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I love you so much, and I'm so grateful for all of you, and I'll see you in the next video. Here's one if you want to check it out. Okay, love you. Bye.